So why should you add tempo runs to your training? Well, in this video, we're going to have a look at what they do and how they benefit you. So when we run a tempo run, what we're doing is we're running at our lactate threshold. Now, this is really important because by running at our lactate threshold, we are forcing the body to adapt and make this threshold better. Now, there's a few things to learn about the lactate threshold. First of all, what it is. It is your VO-BLA, which is the onset of blood lactate accumulation. Basically, what this means is that when you hit this threshold, your body cannot clear the lactic acid from your blood quicker than you create it. So from studies, they found out that this basically happens at a certain point. And you've probably heard of these two terms. One of them is aerobic and the other one is anaerobic. So aerobic means with oxygen and anaerobic means without. So the threshold is when you change from aerobic to anaerobic. All this means is that when you're working aerobically, you're taking on enough oxygen to fuel your muscles, but when you're working anaerobically, you're not. So you start to build up this lactic acid. What's really important about a tempo run is that when we train like this, we're training the body to clear this lactic acid as quickly and efficiently as it possibly can. So why do we do these tempo runs then? Well, like I said, we're training the body to quickly and efficiently clear this lactic acid. And what happens is by consistently repeating this exercise, the body gets used to it and gets more efficient, so our threshold increases. And when I say our threshold increases, what I actually mean is that the intensity that we need to push our bodies to create this VO-BLA actually gets more intense or quicker. So if you're running at 8-minute miles and that's when the onset of blood lactate accumulation kicks in, you might find that after training at that for a few weeks, it now doesn't kick in until you run at 750 pace. And this is really, really important because when you run at this pace, if you go over the threshold, you can't go for very long. So the lactate threshold is usually about the max pace you can run at for an hour. So what we're saying is that by improving this, you can run faster for an hour, and this is absolutely key on races, anything from 5K all the way up to a marathon and beyond. So the tempo run is our stimulus because the body needs a stimulus to tell it to adapt. So by running at this threshold, you're telling the body that you want it to be quicker and more efficient at clearing this lactic acid. Training like this consistently will help improve this threshold and you will get faster. So the fact that we're improving our lactate threshold is not the only reason to do a tempo run. There's a few other reasons to do them because you do have some other benefits. One of which is the fact that it's a long, sustained run. And this is like race day. It's almost like a bit of a race day simulation, which is absolutely great because you develop a little bit of mental grit and resilience to sort of push through when it gets hard, and you know you have to go for that extended period of time. The other thing as well is that the biomechanics of running a tempo run are quite similar to race day. If you compare it to something like intervals where you're speeding up and slowing down, that's very different to race day, whereas a tempo run is very similar to just going out for a really hard 10K and sticking at that pace for the whole race. And the other thing is that you have to hit the pace. There's a specific pace for you for this tempo run. So you have to get used to pacing yourself and picking it out, especially right from the start, not going out too fast, not going out too slow, making sure you keep the pace over a certain amount of time. So it will give you some practice of your pacing. So now you know why tempo runs are really important. You should click here to know how to do one, and then you can also click here to see when you should add them into your training. If you've got any questions, please drop them in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified of when I upload. I'll see you in the next one.